Hello, this is David Geller with Jeweler Profit, your Geller Repair Pricing Book Guide for today. This is what we're going to cover in the next 2 or 3 videos. We're going to show you how to use the Geller book with the Edge program. We're going to take in and repair and track it and deliver it. Then we're going on a separate video to do a custom job. I'm going to show you how to choose the SKUs from the point of sale screen. You can either choose it with a number or by asking for words. And then I'm going to show you how to move jobs from location to location. This is to keep the store very organized. How to mark them for delivery. The Edge says it has to be marked as done. And then I'll show you some reports. So just to give you a little bit of background, I helped the Edge when they started in 2000 with the repair intake procedure, also with the QuickBooks exporting procedure. It's all based upon what I had given them a long time ago. So with the Edge take-in procedure, the reason that they asked for my help was for us, we had a fairly large shop. We would take in almost 9,000 jobs a year. We had 5 jewelers, a polisher, a shop foreman, 4 or 5 salespeople, and we would have in the store on any given day 450 jobs. So the procedures that I'm going to show you was to help us track these jobs and make sure they were done on time. So let's get into it. So one of the first things before we get started is the Edge has a listing of where a job envelope can sit. If we come up here to Administrative and to Locations, let's hit Find and hit OK. These are every place something could sit in the store. These that say Display, this is where inventory will sit. And up here, these are places envelopes can sit. If you just click on the word Type, they'll be sorted. Let's click it again. So the engraver's bench, the jewelers, the appraiser, the polish room. We had a polisher, so when the jeweler got finished, it went to a polisher. And we had an outside pearl stringer. We had a watch repairman and things on that nature. So if you don't have one of these, yours might be blank. Come down here and hit Add and type a name. Sort box for us was where the envelope went very first. The shop foreman looked at it. And we'll put it either bin or station. The Edge has used station a lot. And you must click this as an envelope location. So we made a box called a station. We'll hit Save and Close. And we'll resort. And so you can see all the boxes. So now that we've made our location, and you should make wherever they're going to be in your store, you may not have as many as I. Let's go ahead and take in a repair job. So let's click on point of sale screen. Another screen comes up. We're going to choose a salesperson. We're going to choose a customer. So let's come down here. Let's see, let me write this down. Zern, the very last one. So I'm going to click on Zern. So that's our customer. That's who took it in. Now, the reason that there is a repair intake tab and a custom intake tab, they're virtually the same. The repair intake tab has a place to type in a SKU number or to find a SKU. And the custom intake tab has one more tab. This is a description of what we're going to make. But again, you can either type it in or you can find it. So they're virtually the same. The reason the Edge has both of these and one is different than the other is this. Although you can run a report and see how much you've done in both of those, I can help you with your setup of QuickBooks. The Edge does a wonderful job of exporting to QuickBooks. So this is a real jewelry store. I changed the name. So if you click the Sell Item button and you click and you have a stock or a special order item you're selling, when it comes over to QuickBooks, it'll come up here to Showcase Sales, Special Order Sales. This store did $1,498,000. And down here, the Edge will send over the cost of goods sold, $869. That comes from selling an item. If you sell an item that's memo or consignment, the Edge will come over to QuickBooks and differentiate between the memos from the stock, and down here is the memo cost of goods. But if you come down here and click on the repair, whatever you charge the lady, size of ring, tip of prong, lobster claw, replace a small diamond that fell out, set it, whatever you decide to charge the lady, the money is going to come over here to jewelry repair sales. And whatever you charge a customer for a custom job, to carve a wax, CAD a wax, cast it, file it up, polish it, furnish 7 3-pointers, furnish 4 pennyweights of gold, whatever you charge the lady to do, it'll be on a report in the Edge, but in QuickBooks it'll come over as a custom designed sale. So that's the reason between the two. So we chose the salesperson, the customer. We'll come over here for repair intake. And let me go through this screen. Some of you have used this already, some are new. In the description box, we are going to describe what the customer has left us. In this example, the customer is going to leave us 2 items. Now, the way that the Edge has designed it, you would leave 1 item here, hit Save and Close, come in here and do another one, and you would have 2 line items. One is sizing a ring, one's a lobster claw. But the way they've designed it, it says you could give the lobster claw repair to another jeweler. Did not run my store that way. If 2 jewelers are going to have a different job from a customer, we would make 2 different job envelopes. And what you're looking on the screen is a single job envelope, and it's going to go to 1 jeweler. Now, if the customer brought in a ring sizing and a watch repair, we would make 2 different screens, 2 different job envelopes. So let's come in here to the repair intake. And this lady is going to give us 2 things. She's going to give us a 7 diamond, 14 karat white gold eternity ring. And it has 7 2.5 millimeter round diamonds. I wouldn't give a customer a receipt for 8 pointers. I never give a receipt for carat weight, just millimeter dimension. She's also given us an 18-inch, 14 karat yellow gold rope chain, and it has a broken lobster claw. So these are the 2 things she's giving us. Under conditions on this wedding ring, it has 1 chipped diamond at the end. That will print on the envelope. Right here under private notes, this won't print. So this is a note to the sales staff or anybody. So we're telling them the lady's picky, this does not print. Up here, we're going to put the value and everything in the envelope. So we're going to put 1950. It's a very good idea to put a value in there. It's a good idea to ask the customer, I know what you're thinking. You're giving them a free appraisal. No. Mr. Zern, what kind of value should I put on your jewelry while it's in our store? It's insured while it's here. Don't get into all the big stuff. If it's close to what you think, put that in. Now, this notify box is how they want to be contacted when it's ready. And up here, it'll take a picture. Now, the Edge will take many pictures, but it'll only print 1 picture, I think the first one. I don't have a camera, so I'm going to come over here to the file. I don't think this is going to work, but here is one here, and so it's not going to work. But it would have a picture of that ring, and the lobster claw would go there as well. So we're going to come down here to this box. Now there's 3 ways to charge a lady to do this job. You could just type it, and then you can come over here to the other and put whatever you're going to charge her. And then you could add a task, and you could just type here. Come over to the other field and put in what you're going to charge her. And this will track it. It'll type out what you want and all that good stuff. But you're going to have to find the price. So let's start over and show you the other way. The other way is this. Now, this is our price book. Let me bring over the correct one. This is our price book. This is chapter 100, which is sizing and shanks. And you have to own our price book to get the download for the Edge. And I'm sure most of you already have this. Now, one thing to tell you about the price book, if you're not familiar, on our website we have training videos on how to use the price book and how to combine prices. So you go to jewelerprofit.com. At the very bottom there's 2 things to train the sales staff. One is how a repair is done. So I've taken videos off the internet how something is soldered, how a stone is rebuilt, rhodium plating, sizing a ring, tipping a prong, setting a stone. So this is to help the sales staff understand how a job is done. But this right here, book training videos. Now the password is Geller, my last name. And this tells you what the buttons do. But this very first one tells you how the book is designed, the markups and cost. And then every single chapter is shown here. All you have to do is start hitting the play button and you'll see me start explaining every single page. So I want to bring over the sizing. So in the book, we're on release 6. So to make a yellow gold ring, narrow ring smaller, let's make this a little bit wider. So there's less than 3 millimeters, 3 to 5, and 5 to 8. To make a yellow ring smaller is 42. It is this SKU number. And you could type 1000 in that box and it would pop up. We're charging an extra $35 to rhodium plate a white gold ring, and this is a white gold ring. And it's already added in, and it's that SKU number 1001. If it has 0 to 4 stones, there's no extra charge. If it has 5 to 20, and this has 7, we're charging an extra $28 above the normal price to check, tighten, and guarantee the stones, and that's the SKU number. So we're going to make that ring with 7 diamonds, 1 size larger, and it is number 1003. So you could type 1003, and hitting the enter key doesn't work. You have to hit the tab key. So we're going to make a white gold narrow ring with 5 to 20 stones, smaller. And they want to know what size. So let's make it going from an 8 down to a 6. I'm hitting tab. It's $105, which is the same price in the book. The other way you can do it is this. I'm going to add another line. And instead of typing the number, which means you need the book, this is the way the Edge designed it. Hit Find SKU. And there can be a total of 7 choices. They may not on all of them. And if you hit the down arrow and just look at the categories, that's about everything you could do to a piece of jewelry. You can either type an S to go to the first S and then choose, or you can just come down here and choose it. Now another box has popped open, and that means there's another choice. And so it's white or yellow, and this is a white ring. There's another choice. It's a narrow ring. There's another choice. How many stones? Well, 0 to 4 is no charge. We have a 7-stone ring, 5 to 7 stones. It's charging an extra $28 to check, tighten, and guarantee. What else could there be? It's going smaller. What else could it be? Laser or torch. So this can take a torch. The difference between the two, there are only 3 stones that can take heat. The colors of the American flag, red, white, and blue, diamond, ruby, sapphire. You could probably size this ring just fine with a torch. But if it had a lot of stones coming down to the bottom, and they were emeralds or tanzanites, you'd have to use a laser, and we charge 50% more for that. But we're going to size a white gold narrow ring smaller with 7 stones in it with a torch. There's no more boxes that came up. We're going to put it in from a size 9 to an 8. There's the 105. In this one, we typed it. In this one, we chose it. And your third choice is you could just type it, if that's what you wanted to do. And you can have it that way. So there's 3 different ways of doing this. So let's start from scratch again. I want to show you one more thing. In the price book, to make that white gold ring larger is $100. It's actually $65 in gold, and we've added in rhodium plating to make it $100. And if it's got 7 stones in it, there's another $28 added in. And each additional size above the first one, you'll notice, is $24 a size. Rather than you having to look up each additional, the Edge has done a wonderful job of this. So this ring needs to go larger. We're going to choose here, type an S. We're going to come down here to sizing. We're going to choose white gold. That adds in to $35. We're going to choose a narrow ring. We're going to choose that it has 7 stones, which adds in $28. And we're going to go larger this time. We're going to use a torch. This comes up. I don't know why. Just hit select, hit OK. So it's going to go from a 5 to a 6. That is one size larger. You notice right here, one size larger with 7 stones and white gold is $28. Underneath each additional is $24. You don't need to add another task for each additional. The Edge already knows. So if it goes from a 5 to a 7, that is 2 sizes larger, and it added in the $24. So for sizing, you just have to tell it what it's going to be, and the Edge will figure that out for its own. Now, if this ring needed a tip as well, we would add a task, find a skew, come down here for tips and prongs, going to do a tip. It's in 14 karat tip. There's no white or yellow tip. We would add extra money for rhodium plating, but being its size, it'll be rhodium plated. We're going to do it with a torch. That's it. There's 4 boxes. So the very first tip is 32, and let's just say the end one you can add here. Needs a tip. I think each additional tip is 17. If we were to put 2 here, the Edge would figure the additional 17, but it only needs 1. So now what about the chain? So I'm going to add a task, find a skew, and they're under clasp. So we're going to use a lobster clasp. It's going to be 14 karat. There's no difference in price between white and yellow. And we're going to choose a medium size. Going to hit OK. There's no more boxes. And it's per lobster cloth. Hit 2. That would be 106. And so this is a good time to explain to you what these boxes are. you notice the box has parts, labor, and other. On a lobster claw, that is the retail price for a lobster claw with a 3-time markup. That lobster claw costs from Stuller $35. And if you triple it with the jump ring, it's $103. We would charge $19, that's the labor, to solder the jump ring closed. The lobster claw labor adds up to $122. Now the customer is only going to see the total of these blue numbers. They're not going to see it broken down. And so in fact, we are sizing the ring, tipping it, adding a lobster claw, and it's $305 plus tax. So this is what you'll do every time to fill in for a job. We're going to hit the date. It's going to be the 22nd, the day before Thanksgiving. If the date is estimated, you would put that down. We always knew when we're going to deliver it. Price. This is the price we're going to charge. But if it's estimated and you click it, it would be determined later, or it'll give a message call before starting, or don't exceed. Well, if you told her to be between $3 and $350, you could put $350 and the staff would know. But we're just going to charge this. Now the edge requires the deposit to be filled in. You can take no deposit and it'll just work. But let's take a $50 deposit. You don't have to, but let's just take one. So it's promised for next week. We're getting a $50 deposit. Hit save and close. This is what we'll print on the envelope. I'm not real fond of it, but it is what it is. That is a description of one of the items the lady left. That is the description of the chain. This is the description of what we're going to do to the ring. We're going to size it, plus we're going to tip it, and then here we're going to furnish a lobster claw. And it's not broken down on her receipt. It is in our copy. And it's going to cost a $306 tax total. She's leaving a $50 deposit. Down here at the bottom, this is not a $50 sale. In fact, this is not a sale at all until it's delivered and paid in full. Could be December. We're going to come down here and use a check, put in the check number, and it really doesn't matter what check type, because when it comes over to QuickBooks, it only has the word check. So we'll put check and hit OK. So this is how you're going to take in a job for repair, and then we're going to hit done. I'm just going to hit preview. This is the receipt. This is a receipt the customer will get on the left. The store's copy for the back room is on the right. And this is the receipt and job number. They're the same thing. It's envelope number 126624. The 001 in front means store 1. If you only have one store, that's what it'll say. If you have 3 stores, it'll be 00 whatever, 2 or 3. So here's the job number. This is what she's left. This is the description. This is the deposit. So in the edge, you're going to use perforated 8.5 by 11 paper. This is where it be perforated. And if we hit the next page, this is also given to the customer. They get 2 pieces of paper. This is their claim check. This object over here goes in a plastic bag for the jeweler. And so the job, the actual jewelry, goes in with the description and what we're going to do for the customer. It's not broken down for cost for each, just the regular retail price. So this is what the customer gets, as well as the jeweler, and this is how you take a job in. We're going to take a short break and come back for the next video, and I'm going to show you how to move the job around the store so the salespeople can find the job very, very quickly.